On March 29th, sitting down with the Financial Times, President Trump said 8 words that sent Iranian commanders scrambling. According to Stars and Stripes and CFR's reporting, Trump said, "Maybe we take Kharg Island, maybe we don't. We have a lot of options." He then added, "It would also mean we had to be there for a while." Here's the thing. Those words landed on an Iranian military that had already been watching U.S. Marines arrive in the region and had already started digging in. According to CNN and Jerusalem Post's reporting, Iran has been urgently refortifying Kharg Island since late March, laying anti-armor and anti-personnel mines along the shorelines, moving air defenses to the island, and deploying additional military personnel. Iran is preparing for something. The question is whether the U.S. is about to give it to them. So today, the 3 islands, the 2 ground force packages, and the one question every analyst in Washington is debating right now. What happens if boots actually hit the ground? The U.S. has not announced a ground invasion. What it has done is move the pieces into position. According to CENTCOM's March 28th statement, the USS Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit arrived in the CENTCOM area on March 27th. According to Al Jazeera and Zona Militar, a second package, USS Boxer carrying the 11th MEU, is still en route from San Diego. Together they bring approximately 4,500 Marines and sailors capable of amphibious operations, air assault, and coastal seizure. Alongside them, according to CNBC and The Telegraph's reporting, the Pentagon reportedly sent around 2,000 soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division's Immediate Response Force. This unit can conduct parachute insertions and seize airfields within hours, but it operates without heavy armor, which shapes what kind of mission it can realistically execute. According to Zona Militar's defense analysis, there are no indications of a large-scale invasion. The force composition points towards specific objectives capable of temporarily altering Iran's power projection, not a sustained ground campaign. Kharg Island is 1/3 the size of Manhattan. According to CFR's analysis, it sits 21 miles off Iran's coast and handles approximately 90% of Iran's crude oil exports. It contains large oil storage facilities connected by pipelines to Iran's biggest southwest fields. According to J.P. Morgan's analysis cited by CNBC, if Kharg went offline, as much as half of Iran's national oil output could be at risk. It is, as analysts call it, Iran's economic center of gravity. The U.S. already hit it. According to Wikipedia's entry on the March 13th strike, the U.S. Air Force conducted a bombing raid on Kharg Island, targeting more than 90 Iranian military sites, air defenses, a naval base, an airport control tower, and a helicopter hangar. Crucially, oil infrastructure was deliberately spared. According to CFR, Trump said the strike obliterated every military target, but he chose not to wipe out the oil facilities, adding that he would immediately reconsider if Iran continued the Hormuz blockade. Now, Iran is refortifying. According to CNN and Jerusalem Post, anti-armor and anti-personnel mines are being laid along the shorelines that any amphibious landing would have to cross. The core military problem with Kharg: taking it is one challenge, holding it is another. According to Villanova University professor Francis Galgano speaking to CNBC, it would take an estimated 5,000 troops to take and hold the island, significantly more than the 800 to 1,000 estimate for a rapid seizure. And once taken, those troops would be sitting 21 miles from the Iranian coast, under constant threat of missile, drone, and boat attack, with the nearest friendly base approximately 140 miles away. While Kharg gets most of the attention, defense analysts consider Qeshm equally important for solving the Hormuz problem specifically. According to Hudson Institute's analysis, Qeshm Island, positioned closer to the entrance of the strait, extends Iran's surveillance reach and supports naval drone operations and anti-ship missile coverage. In simple terms, Qeshm is what Iran uses to enforce the blockade. Kharg is what Iran uses to fund itself. According to Al Jazeera's reporting citing retired Lebanese Brigadier General Hassan Jouni, Qeshm houses striking Iranian capabilities within what is described as an underground missile city. According to the Telegraph's reporting, some tunnels in this network go as deep as 1,600 feet, the same hardened underground infrastructure that GBU-72 penetrators were designed to address. According to CNBC's defense analysis, the island reportedly stores the types of anti-ship munitions Iran has been using against merchant ships in the strait. According to Hudson Institute senior fellow Khan Kasapoglu, any U.S. campaign in the region would likely center on two decisive islands, Kharg and Qeshm. Kharg for economic pressure, Qeshm for operational control of the strait itself. The 82nd Airborne's parachute capability makes Qeshm a realistic target. Drop paratroopers onto key military nodes on the island, raid the tunnel entrances, and remove Iran's ability to use it as an anti-ship missile platform. The third scenario, and the most operationally challenging, is extracting Iran's enriched uranium stockpile before the regime can weaponize it. According to the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, Iran's stockpile stands at approximately 440.9 kilograms, roughly 972 pounds, of uranium enriched to 60% U-235. The same center assessed that Iran has already completed 99% of the enrichment work needed to reach the 90% level required to build a nuclear weapon. Iran reportedly does not have a functional bomb, but it is reportedly one step away from being able to build one. According to Al Jazeera's reporting, Trump has reportedly been considering a military operation to extract approximately 450 kilograms of uranium from Iran. According to CNBC's analysis, however, this option is the least realistic with the current force. Sites like Isfahan and Natanz are hundreds of miles inland on open plains with minimal terrain cover. According to Alex Plitzis of the Atlantic Council, any use of ground forces would likely be limited to special operations forces for specific missions. The MEUs and 82nd Airborne arriving in theater are not the right tool for a deep inland special forces extraction. The distinction matters. If uranium extraction is the goal, the publicly announced Marine and airborne deployments may be the visible layer of a larger operation, providing force protection and distraction while Delta Force or SEAL teams execute the actual mission inland, or they may not. The honest assessment, according to CNBC's analysts, this option requires a far larger sustained ground presence than what has been publicly deployed. Every option here comes with a specific cost that is worth being direct about. According to the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, analysts Ryan Brobst and Cameron McMillan, cited by Stars and Stripes, seizing Kharg would likely not deliver a decisive victory or shorten the war. Instead, Iran would likely launch mass attacks against U.S. forces during a seizure and any subsequent occupation, requiring robust defense systems that are difficult to quickly set up on the island. Their assessment, the assets needed to hold Kharg would strain resources already under pressure across multiple missions. According to CFR's analysis, there is also a civilian dimension. At least 8,000 civilians live on Kharg Island. International law permits attacks on civilian infrastructure only when military gain outweighs civilian harm, a legal threshold that any ground operation would need to satisfy. According to Hudson Institute, the preferred framing for any island seizure is coercive leverage, a not territorial gain, meaning the goal would be to use the island as a negotiating chip to force Iran to reopen Hormuz, not to permanently occupy Iranian territory. The honest picture from the analyst community: taking Kharg or Qeshm is operationally feasible with the forces now in theater. Holding either one under sustained Iranian counterattack from the mainland is the harder problem. According to Stars and Stripes, U.S. air and naval assets are already strained across several missions. Adding a contested island garrison would stretch that further. Here is the important context that changes how you read all of this. According to Stars and Stripes March 31st, Hegseth confirmed negotiations with Iran are real and gaining strength. According to multiple reports, the U.S. force buildup is described by analysts as a tool of coercive leverage, signaling to Tehran that Washington has credible ground options if diplomacy fails. The presence of Marines and paratroopers in the region increases U.S. negotiating power without requiring a single additional trigger to be pulled. Retired General Jack Keane, speaking on Fox News cited by Fox News Digital, said the U.S. could take Kharg Island if it chose to, but has chosen not to take that now. That framing, not yet rather than not ever, is precisely what Trump's FT interview communicated. According to White House spokesperson Anna Kelly, cited by Fox News Digital, the operation will continue until President Trump determines that the goals of the operation, including for Iran to no longer pose a military threat, have been fully realized. No timeline. No defined endpoint. All options retained. What seems clear based on the force composition, the expert analysis, and the diplomatic context, the most likely immediate use of the MEUs and 82nd Airborne is as a pressure tool in negotiations, with Qeshm-style limited coastal operations as the most operationally appropriate mission if action is ordered. Kharg is the economic lever. Uranium extraction is the long-term nuclear solution. All three options remain on the table. Iran is fortifying Kharg because it knows that, and the Marines are in the theater because Washington wants Iran to know that they know. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you on the next one. This video is based on publicly available reports, official statements, and defense analysis. All scenarios presented reflect analyst assessments only. No ground invasion has been confirmed or ordered.